Hello, and welcome to CatavanCast, van life with a cat. It's the show where we discuss our experiences travelling through the many countries of Europe, and a bit further, in a camper van. I'm Ben.
I'm Frey. Darga's not actually in the room today.
No.
We've got the door open, so she's gallivanting around the house.
She's chosen not to join us.
No.
Which is a shame because I've been looking forward to this. Well, these next few episodes. There's too much here to get in one episode. Because now we're doing Morocco, which is not Europe. It's our second, although we were still in continental Europe in Russia.
Technically, yes.
But this was our second time outside of the EU.
Yes.
And both of our first times in Africa.
Yeah, that was something.
And my first time in a non-Christian country. Which was a whole lot of interesting. No, I absolutely love Morocco. Was absolutely fantastic.
I think that was a good introduction for you. It's a very westernised...
I'm trying to set the scene.
Yeah.
Pasty white boy, go to the desert.
Okay. And you didn't get that sunburn?
Didn't get that, well,
No.
I mean, we went in January.
Winter.
Yeah. So this was early January we went. It was one of the big things we were looking forward to, both of us. We'll get to all that. This first episode is going to cover, because there is so much to cover, I think there'll be easily 2 episodes of just the actual journey we went on and all the tumultuous activities therein.
Yes.
So, but this first episode will be quite a bureaucratic one.
Yeah. It's all the legal stuff.
Yeah, so this is generally what it's like to drive, and specifically in a camper van, so where you can stop in the country. It's getting there from Spain. There are several ways. We chose, is it the cheapest way? Is it the cheapest way?
Yes, I think so.
There are a couple of different routes you can take, different destinations from Spain, I think from other countries as well.
Yeah.
But obviously this will be based on our experiences getting over to Africa and then crossing the border into Morocco, and the other way, crossing back into Spain and then back to Europe itself.
All in one shiny little nugget.
One convenient little package of an episode.
Yes.
And we'll try and keep it under an hour because the last 2 were incredibly long.
We do go on a bit.
So, regular listeners will know I usually get all of my legal driving information from the RAC website, which proved incredibly unuseful on this matter for Morocco. It only seems to be good for EU countries.
Yes, makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Basically, all they do is recommend you get insurance and have pages where they can recommend, I suppose, other insurance companies. I didn't look at it. We will cover getting insurance as well, because while I think I'm correct in saying, at least for the time being, any car insurance covers you for EU driving?
For the time being.
For the time being, yes.
There are varying lengths of time within the EU that your car insurance may cover you.
Yeah.
But, yes.
As with Russia, your insurers will probably not cover you for Morocco.
Indeed.
So you'll need to get insurance. We'll cover that as well in this episode. But this is the legal information I did get. You must be 18 to drive in Morocco.
Okay.
As with all countries, you must have your passport, your vehicle documents, so that's your registration documents, your V5, your proof of insurance, which is your green card, and your driver's license. If you're an EU citizen, you do not need a driving permit. Other people do.
Okay.
So if we want to go back after Brexit, we will probably need a driving permit. These can be...
That's fine.
Where did we get those from?
The post office. They are £5 a pop. You just have to turn up, ask for an international driving permit. There are 3 different types based on the year that those countries joined the scheme.
Yep.
I think the most popular ones are 1949 and 1962, 64 off the top of my head.
And
that basically covers everything.
Everywhere other than like Mexico and Somalia. Yeah.
One of them literally just covers Mexico and Somalia.
Yeah.
But yes, so that's easy to get. They literally take the details direct from your driving license, which you obviously need to have with you at the time. Copy it all across. I think you also need photos.
Yes,
you need
they
size
stick photos on.
Photos with you.
Yeah.
They will put those in the permit, stamp it, and ready to go. It's basically a little booklet which has all the common languages in it.
Yep.
that tells people what the information is.
Yes.
Simple.
So there you go. Thanks Brexit, British people will probably need those to go to Morocco.
Yeah.
Hooray. In terms of legal requirements and things, obviously if you're in a right-hand drive vehicle, you need your reflector stickers on.
Yep.
It is very much advised that you should have, hopefully you'd have your European driving kit anyway, which once again they're about £20 to buy, and that comes with everything to cover your legal requirements for driving in any European country. So there will be high-vis vests, there'll be warning triangles, breathalyzer kits, first aid kits.
Yep.
You should have all. I recommend taking all that to Morocco with you.
Yep.
It's just good stuff to have. Other limits, speed limits. It's generally the same as Europe, really.
Yeah.
In fact, all the signs, road signs, are the same as in Europe.
Yes.
Except a lot of them will have Arabic script on.
Yeah, the one that I notably remember is the stop sign.
Yes.
It's the same hexagonal red
Yeah. The signs all look...
with Arabic in it.
Yeah, you can tell a stop sign
Yeah.
just by looking at it.
Exactly.
Of course, Morocco is also an old French colony. They're only... I don't think liberated is the right word, but it became independent
Yes.
in the mid-50s. So there's a lot of French about. So on all the big roads and in the big settlements, cities and things, everything's in French as well.
Yes.
So you know you're French, you can get around, that's fine. There are toll roads in Morocco. The normal little, all sorts of different roads, but there are toll roads, these just big motorways, and these are as good quality as you'd expect anywhere.
In fact, they're a bit better than a few of the southern European toll roads.
Yes.
So
Yeah, they're better than the Italian toll roads.
and the Spanish ones.
And they're cheaper.
Yes.
They have service stations all the way along. They're cheaper than you'd expect in Europe, and they are the quickest and most efficient way to get across the country.
They are indeed.
And they cover most of the country. So, generally driving around Morocco is a bit of an experience. Coming from Europe. Although I'd argue after being in Greece, it's a bit closer to the way the Greeks drive. But Greece is kind of like halfway between Western Europe driving and Morocco driving.
Yeah.
Morocco, the roads they're basically, that's where cars are. And animals, like horse-drawn carts and things.
Yeah.
Okay, speaking of animals, here's the cat. Plug. Out of the way of the microphone, please. Thank you very much. There's very little certainly enforced rules on the road. Like, you can be tailgated. People will just pull out. People will just pull up on the side of the road to talk to their mates.
Yeah.
People will just cut out.
But, so with you never having driven outside of the Western world,
yes,
should we say?
Yeah.
With me growing up in Asia,
yeah,
obviously by this point I think I'd only been driving for a year. I think by almost not quite
almost,
yet.
Yeah.
But I was quite comfortable taking Moroccan roads, basically.
Yeah.
But the rule is that everybody will look out for themselves.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily need to overexert yourself by watching what everybody else on the road is doing.
Yeah.
Because it's like ants. They are literally just going everywhere. Wrong side of the road, wrong way round a roundabout.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're on the roundabout, they'll still come at you and everything like that. But the only rule that applies is that you watch out for yourself.
I suppose you think, I just thought of this, suppose everybody has their own bubble.
Yeah.
And you just keep an eye on that.
Exactly.
And because if someone's coming into your bubble, they know you're there, they don't
Exactly.
want to be there. Like, it's...
Yeah.
They're aware of you when they need to be.
That's the easiest way of looking at it. I think the entire time that I was driving in Morocco, and I did most of the city driving, especially to start with.
Yes.
Until you got a little bit more comfortable.
Yes.
And used to it.
I have stress issues.
Yes. I don't think I used my side mirrors, like, almost at all.
No.
Because you're so focused on what's in front of you, and that you don't go into the back of somebody else, especially after Spain.
Yes.
And everything like that, that after, like, past your peripheral vision,
yeah,
you don't really care. you don't have the brain capacity to care, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But again, people aren't stressy.
Yeah,
Even if you're in a busy city, you're driving along. If you're driving slowly and carefully, they will go round you. It doesn't matter. Nobody honks their horn at you like crazy because you're doing 30 in a 50.
No. People beep, it's kind of like the same thing here. People beep their horns not in an aggressive manner.
No.
It's just to let you know I'm coming, or don't pull out, or you can come out.
Or I'm here, like hello,
yeah.
kind of a thing. It's not an aggressive thing at all. It's not a get out of my way. It's more like I'm coming past you now.
Yeah, letting you know they're there. So there is kind of a not a calm to the chaos, but there is a
there is a sort method to the madness.
Yes, kind of. That said, though, out on the road, the outer road. So you got that in the cities. Is the roads are usually mostly tarmac roads everywhere. Then you'll have your toll roads, which are just the big,
massive
big
things,
3-4 lane motorways, and the in between isn't really a gradual thing. Like between cities, that's not a toll road. It will just be a single carriageway road.
Yeah.
Which can vary in quality.
That's putting it mildly.
Yeah, I think we'll come to that, but to say without trying to make the roads sound like they're completely lawless, one thing that is very common in Morocco, and you will see regularly, is police checkpoints.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The police very well dressed.
Yes.
Very smart.
Very smart.
There will be signs they'll just randomly set up, and they'll put little signs down telling you to slow down to I think 20 kilometers
or stop,
hour, or to stop.
Yeah.
You basically slow down, and they will wave you through, or they will pull you over. If they do pull you over, sometimes they'll find out that if they don't speak English, they'll just okay, forget it, go.
Yeah.
But sometimes they'll just ask where you're going.
Yeah. Where
you've come from. We never had any hassle off any of them.
No.
We did get stopped for speeding once.
We did.
I was going a little bit fast. All they'll do for that, and it's very fair how they do it. They called me over. So I came down a hill with speeding. They stopped us. I had to get out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And they showed me the recording of me speeding.
Yeah.
With the speed, and he said, "This is your vehicle, isn't it?" And because we just had the van painted, I thought, I can't deny that. That's clearly my vehicle, yes. And you have to pay an on-the-spot fine. I think it's the equivalent of about £20.
It's 150 dirhams, so that's more like
15,
just under 15.
Okay, yeah. Which obviously is a lot to them.
Yeah.
That's not to say you should go bombing around.
No.
Because they do take a log of it.
Yeah.
And they did have, so I imagine if they figure out that you've been speeding quite a bit, maybe the fines will go up. Don't know. But police, like anywhere, just show them a bit of respect.
Yeah.
They'll show you respect back. Morocco is increasingly dependent on tourism, so they don't want to be horrible to foreigners.
No.
But they let me go with a thank you. The whole process took about 10-15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we were off on the road again. But they do stop you, and they'll sometimes ask for driving licenses, proof of insurance, proof of ownership.
Yeah.
Things like that. Slow down and stop for them.
Yeah.
Let them wave you through.
Yeah.
Or stop when they tell you to.
Whenever you see a police presence.
Yes.
And there will be 3 or 4 little signs, like you said. Sometimes they're flashing.
Yep.
Always slow down to 20.
Yes.
Because I have a habit of missing the sign when it says stop.
Yeah, it's the very last sign either says stop or slow.
Yeah.
And stop, you roll to a stop, and then they will wave you through.
I went through a stop.
Yes.
I didn't get told off. They just kind of looked at me like you're a crazy woman and just carried on. But yes.
Yeah. So roads in general. So you have the great big toll roads.
Yes.
Which it's just a big multi-lane motorway with services on them, absolutely brilliant. In the villages, it's usually tarmac roads, to be fair. Out in the sticks, it's tarmac roads pretty much everywhere.
Yeah,
unless
there's
you're
a good road network around Morocco.
Yeah, unless you're getting right on. We're not off the beaten track because it is beaten, it's a road. But there are dirt roads.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it goes from single lane roads between cities, and then that jumps to the toll roads. There's no in between.
Yeah.
And these single lane roads.
Do you mean single carriageway?
Yeah, single carriageway. Yeah, okay. So single carriageway roads. Single carriageway roads between the cities are the alternative to toll roads.
Yeah.
Now they are just big roads long roads
Yeah.
that just cut through the countryside.
Yeah, they're just the national roads.
Yeah.
I think they're called, but yeah.
The problem with them is that the quality can change instantly and dramatically.
Yes.
Like literally, you will see bits of tarmac which are just disintegrated, and there'll be tracks in the dirt either side of them where people just drive around the road because that is smoother than staying on the road. It can catch you off guard, which is why a lot of people will not drive at night in Morocco. We did a few times, and it is a bit more.
I think if you're driving at night, if you can take the toll roads, take the toll roads.
Yeah.
Because that's fine.
Yeah. Because even like there are the quality in road can change. Sometimes there will be speed bumps.
Yes.
And these are not painted. These are not highlighted. So even under street lights at night, they're difficult to see until it's too late, and you just sort of have to take them. Driving is more of an adventure there than anywhere else, really.
I enjoyed it.
It is still fun, and it's fun. You'll be driving through a small village there are some dual carriageways.
Yeah.
The roads in the villages are quite big and wide as well, especially on the main drags, because people will just pull over to the side to unload, and there'll just be donkey carts coming through the central reservation.
Yeah.
People just pulling over, pulling up. People on mopeds holding ladders. Crazy stuff like that.
The other thing, obviously, you can't predict it or know about it in advance, but towns, villages, they have markets once or twice a week.
Yes.
And when they have those, it's literally everyone and their mum is on that main road through the town.
Yeah, you have to crawl through the traffic.
But just be careful, people on bikes and stuff, they'll nip past you, but, Yeah,
it's back to that bubble thing.
Yeah.
Just look after your bubble, and you're absolutely fine. And that's pretty much...
the other thing I will say is speed limit signs.
Yes.
When you're approaching something, they tend to gradually go down in 20s.
Yeah.
So it's normally 80, 60, 40 if you're coming from one of these single carriageway roads into a main street of a town.
Yeah.
And then through the other side it goes back to national again.
Okay.
But yes.
I think the only other thing we didn't figure out at the time, because Morocco has a massive range of environments in which to drive through.
Oh God, yes.
So there are many mountain roads, and these mountains are snowy mountains.
Yep.
At the end of these roads, so far away that it took us a while to figure out that's what they're for. You'll be driving through a village, and there'll just be a barrier, with hopefully up.
Yeah.
That will just block the road, and well, what's this for? And that is because that road will go over the mountains, and something's happened.
Yeah.
Like there's been an avalanche, or someone's crashed, or the road is closed, basically. And that's kind of it, generally, for driving in Morocco. It is an adventure. Keep your wits about you.
Yeah. You get used to it.
Yeah, everybody is trying to avoid you, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same when you're walking through as well. It's a bit chaotic. People jumping out everywhere.
Yeah. But I'm sure we'll go into the individual things.
Yeah,
in the coming episodes when we do each of them.
Yeah, we'll get into more anecdotal examples when we get into the meat, I suppose. So, getting to Morocco, assuming that first bit didn't put you off the idea completely.
I will say, do not be put off by going to Morocco.
No, Morocco was absolutely fantastic.
It is amazing.
Going in a camper van or motorhome, I genuinely think is the only way. Not the only way. That is the best way. The best way of doing it, because you get to see everything. Give yourself and it sounds quite not entitled, but you really should take a month and really discover yourself. But yeah, because there is so much. Yeah. If you can take a month with a camper van. Yeah. If you're that fortunate to be in that situation, I honestly think that is the best way to do Morocco because there is so much and it's such a vast country. Yeah.
And again, if you haven't been to a Eastern nation, shall we say, Morocco is a good way of easing yourself into that. Yes, I think. Yeah, definitely. Especially in a camper van. Yeah, again, it's very tourist heavy. Yeah. Increasingly so year on. Maybe not this year so much, but year on year, yeah. So anyway, getting there. Yes. So our example, we had just been through Spain, and we knew we were going to get the ferry from Algeciras. Yep.
Fortunately, we had been left a leaflet on our windscreen in the marina just outside Gibraltar for a ticket office. We ended up going there. Now the ticket office is called Agence Voyage Ticket Bateau Tanger.
Is that the full name of it?
That's what it says on Google. It's all in capitals.
Okay.
But that's in Los Barrios.
Barrios?
Is it Barrios?
Barrios? Barrios.
It might be Barrios. It's a big commercial estate.
Yes.
North of Algeciras. It's only a little place, but there's a huge, I think we covered this last week, there's a huge car park out there which is unofficially for motorhomes.
Yeah.
And there will be lots of motorhomes there,
Tons
all shapes and sizes. You go in, there's again, I'm surprised the office isn't bigger, it's just one guy behind a counter.
Yeah.
And he got us open tickets which were valid for 1 year from Algeciras to Ceuta. They were €180.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether that's just per vehicle or for 2 people and a vehicle.
I don't know.
Or what, I'm not sure.
I would presume it's
yeah.
like 2 people and a vehicle.
Yeah. So that's open, so you've got a year to go to Morocco and come back. And there are that's 7 days a week, 5 ferries per day. So you can go, just rock up whenever you want. They also change euros to dirham for a good rate. And there's you don't have to pay for the whole thing in cash.
Yes.
Which is something you should get used to from Morocco anyway.
As well, yeah.
Don't rely on cards. There are cash points everywhere. There's a cash point next to this ticket office. So go in there, get your tickets, which come in this helpful pack, which has maps to where you need to go at the docks, at the ports, what signs to look for.
Yep, it's got the times of the ferries on there as well.
Yeah, it's a really good pack.
Yeah.
All the information you need is on there. And you also get a bottle of wine and a packet of biscuits.
Yes.
Now the wine did throw us off a bit because we'd heard you only allowed 1 bottle of alcohol in Morocco.
To take into
Morocco. And we already had a bottle of wine.
Yes.
They didn't check any sort of wine or anything like that in, but we'll get to that. Not to worry too much. One other thing which we did before we even set off, LPG. There is no LPG in Morocco.
Nope.
Not one bit. If you rely on LPG for cooking, top up before you go. If we were to go again, I think we'd get a dual fuel system because you can get propane everywhere.
Yes, or just get one of these little foldable gas stove things.
Or the gas stoves.
Yeah, that you can just put in the
camping
gas.
Yeah, camping gas ones work as well. So, Algeciras will take you to Ceuta. I wasn't aware till we started planning this trip. Ceuta and somewhere else.
Melilla, I think.
Melilla are Spanish cities in Africa.
In Africa.
So they're the only European country to have territory in Africa now. So there you go.
Yeah.
So you're still in Spain, so there are no border crossing to worry about on the ferry itself.
Yes.
You just get on the ferry as if you were going anywhere else to show your passport. It's all good, show your ticket. And you're on. Crossing takes about an hour. And then you're in Ceuta, which is Spain in Africa.
Yep.
There were loads of other motorhomes there.
Lots, yes.
Lots. There was another British one as well, wasn't
Yes,
there?
that's when we kept bumping into those Brits.
Yeah, and then about 3 days after we got into Morocco, there's some campsite randomly. You come off on the other side, and there are signs to the border.
Yes.
Or the
frontier.
Frontier, there you go. Now, we did get lost.
Yes, because the signs just disappear after a little while.
Yeah, and we felt a bit stupid. There are locals sort of pointing. They see you in a motorhome and like, no, you go this way.
Yeah.
And we weren't the only ones to get lost.
No.
Because we kept passing other motorhomes and camper vans as we were going. But we eventually found our way and we started driving through. Like, you see the border, but you have to follow the signs away from it.
Yes.
It's clear they're prepared for big, long queues.
Yes. And they're redoing that bit of the road, I think, as well.
Oh, yes, there's a lot of roadworks, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to follow quite this snaking path up and over through a massive, great big car park. Obviously, it does get busy at this port. We've since heard how busy it can get at Ceuta, which is why it may be worth considering other options.
Well, every single person that we've spoken to has said that they don't go through Ceuta purely because of the time it takes to cross that border.
Yeah.
So but we had none of that.
Yeah, so we're driving through this space which is clearly for the queue. And they're just people in high vises, and they're telling you, they're stood at all the little areas, telling you, carry on this way.
Yeah.
We eventually got stopped, and we were given a slip of paper.
Yes.
Which has our number plate on it and the time.
Yeah.
You then carry on, and then you get to another person, and they ask you to see that thing and your passport. That's obviously I don't know whether they took that slip off us then.
I think you did.
I think that's just to make. That's obviously because it goes through a car park.
Yeah.
Maybe that's to make sure you haven't jumped the queue.
Maybe.
Or or you are actually in the queue or something like that. And there are 2 checkpoints on the Spanish side. They check to see your passports. We just got waved through them both, nice and easy. And then we were officially out of Spain into no man's land.
Yes.
On the way to Morocco, and they're in the hands of the Moroccan officials. And that's when you start to see something which is quite common in Morocco, which are people eager to help you.
Yes.
Even if you're moving your van forward in the queue, they will stand next to the front of your vehicle and they will usher you forward as much as you can.
Yes.
The idea is they want you to pay them for helping.
Yes, they've provided a service.
Yeah, they've provided a service. If you just say no thank you, or is it la shukran?
Yes, la shukran.
La shukran means no thank you, and then just don't pay attention to them.
Yeah.
Essentially. So you to be polite.
It sounds really rude, but it gets to a point where you have to be somewhat, not rude, but just...
They're persistent.
Yes, exactly.
They're persistent. We eventually, so now we're in the queue, so we're just following that. We get to the first checkpoint or barrier, window, booth? Window.
Yes.
And the guy wanted to see all the basic documents, really, just our passports.
Yep.
And then he was asking us questions, where are you going?
Yep. How long are you going to be here for?
Is it your first time? Whatever. We then asked him, where do we go?
Yeah, because we were I got back in the van, because you were driving at this point.
Yes.
I got back in the van, sat there for a bit, we weren't moving and we had no idea if we needed to go elsewhere.
Well, because like in Russia,
yeah,
there were people out of their vans at other windows.
Exactly.
And look at this guy spoke English.
Yes.
And he was very polite.
And I'm a nice smiley female, so
of course.
you know.
So yes.
So I asked him if I had anywhere else to go, like what do we do now? And he said, who's the owner of the vehicle? I said, me. He said, okay, take your documents, so that's your passport and your V5, and go across to another window, in the next row of windows, booths.
Yes.
I went there and queued up for a bit.
Yeah.
Finally got to the chaps and they just took some information from me. My name, vehicle, they were asking me questions just about me and making small talk as well.
Yeah.
Again, smiley, friendly female. And they gave me a little slip.
Yes.
Which is very important.
Yes.
Slips seem to be incredibly important at borders.
Yeah.
And that slip has my name and the registration of the van.
Yep.
And that is a slip that you need to keep on you for when you exit the country.
Yes.
Because it will be stamped, we'll go into that. And then you also need to keep that slip for 1 whole year after you've left the country.
Yes.
I'm not sure why.
No,
but you do.
Yeah.
So do that.
Do that.
Just in case.
And while you were off doing that, because also I was still moving along with the queue, and the next stage is for your vehicle to be searched.
Yes.
And I remember looking, you see all the vehicles being pulled over to the side, and there was one guy in a small, like Catavan.
Yeah.
Which was just, I think we'd seen him in the queue earlier. His van was just rammed full
of stuff.
Just to the ceiling, and they were making him get everything out.
Yeah.
Back windows and doors open, and they were just taking every item out of there and then just leaving him to put it all back in.
Yeah.
So I start dreading it. No, well, not dreading, but like we know. Well, I did have one bit of contraband on me. Well, no, I think it's worth noting drones are banned in Morocco.
Yes.
2 things.
We didn't know that.
2 things you'll get asked for. Have you got a drone? Have you got any guns?
Yes.
Not allowed guns. Not allowed drones either.
No.
I feel a lot of people might
don't
have
take
drones
tons of alcohol either.
Yeah. there are limits on what you can say. Now, whenever we cross a border, we always prepare the van so that people can get in everywhere without any hassle.
Yes.
Guy came over, he just asked us, do you have any guns? No. Do you have any drones? No.
No.
He then had a bit of a look, he got on, he poked his head in the bathroom,
Yeah.
had a look, and then one of them knocked on the water tank.
Yeah. Asked what was in there.
Asked what
And
was in
we
there,
said
water tank. They get a sniffer dog on. He had a bit of a sniff around. They got off, and they just sort of wandered off.
Yeah.
And we were sort of stood there, like, okay. And then he came back. Can we go? He's like, yeah, go.
Yeah. No, he still had the slip as well, because they take the slip off you at that point.
Oh, okay.
For a second.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh no, I need that slip back. So went and got the slip back from him.
So we got asked, we were told we could go, and you drive off, and you've got one more person stops you. They want to check your slip, and then they check that your passport's been stamped.
Yes.
And then that's it. You're in Morocco.
That's it. You come to that roundabout.
Yeah.
And if you go right,
Well,
it is...
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
Come back to that. Sorry, I've got.
It's okay.
It's following the list.
Sorry.
So that whole process took us about 45 minutes.
Yes.
That's from getting the first bit of paper with the time on it and
Yep.
our reg on it to getting out the other side. It took us about 45 minutes. We've heard we are incredibly lucky, but that's how long it took. Now, the big thing we needed first was insurance.
Mm-hmm.
Because we weren't sure. So we asked the guy...
At the first booth.
At the first booth, so where can we get... Yeah, because we were stuck in traffic, we sort of sat next to him for a while.
Yeah.
So well, where can we get insurance? And he said, well, either road, there's 2 roads to go, as you say. He said, go to the next towns or cities, and you can get some there. So you get through, and you've got kind of like a half roundabout, because the other half is where people are coming in to get back into Ceuta. So you can either go straight on, which takes you down to Tetuan.
I think so.
Tetuan? Tetuan? I think it's like Tatooine, but not. Is that racist? No.
Desert people.
Tetuan is a big... You said it, so that's fine.
I said it, it's fine.
Tetuan, we found out, it's big for... That's for local tourism.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big destination in... About this time of year, in August.
Yeah.
August they all go. That's where Moroccan people go on holiday. To the right is a mountain way to Tangier, Rabat, Casablanca, which is where we were going. That road was also the closest to a 45-degree angle.
That's insane.
That is easily the steepest. You come into Morocco and you come off this roundabout and you are just like, that's got to be close to maximum. Yeah. The maximum gradient, I think, is 33%. That's how much a normal vehicle can take. It must be about 32%.
Yeah, Moya had to be in first gear and she was struggling.
First gear to get up that hill. That was insane. Yeah. And then we're off and we're driving in Morocco, and I would recommend that route because you drive through the mountains, mountain villages. There are little lay-bys where you can see Gibraltar, which is amazing. We've covered roads, and this route takes you actually past the Tangier Med port, which is the more popular way people get into Morocco. You can get ferries to there from Algeciras as well. Yep. Then they cost a little bit more, and you miss the funny steep hill.
You do. This is true.
And the view of Gibraltar.
Yeah. And I think you do all the customs and passport and border stuff in Spain before boarding the ferry.
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay. Well, we don't know.
I think so.
That, so we got to Tangier. We'll come on to where you can put your camper van and things.
In the next one?
In the next one,
okay.
We'll cover that then.
That's fine.
So we got to Tangier. One thing we'll just cover, parking is a bit iffy to get you. Look, I didn't like it at first. Most parking is manned.
Yes.
There are guys in high-vis vests.
Yes.
They will look after your van.
Yes. There might not be official security guards, but that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, but they are there as a deterrent, because if you pay them, you traditionally pay them as you leave when you're finished and you're driving out the car park. If something's happened to your vehicle, you're not going to pay them. Yeah. So they don't want anything to happen to your vehicle. Yeah. They will look after your vehicle for you. Be nice to them. I didn't like it at first.
No, but you're not used to that.
No, but then it's like, okay, no, this is how it is. It's all good. It's actually, you are safe to park in the middle of cities. Exactly. So we got to Tangier. We needed insurance. We kind of went in blind because at this point we didn't have SIM cards either. No. Because you're not in the EU, you're not covered. So we couldn't get on the internet to search for stuff. No. So we went actually down to the port because so it's not the Tangier Met, it's not where the ferries come in. No. Because that's out of the city, quite away. Yes. Some of the tourist port. I'm not.
No, I think there is another port there.
Okay, the port
I
there.
don't know where that goes.
And there's a bus stop for the tourist buses.
Yes.
The tour buses at the front. And the lady there was nice enough just to give us a map.
Yes.
They give us all the plan, and we asked, "Do you know where the tourist information?" No, sorry, the tourist office.
Tourist information.
Where the tourist office is, and she showed us on the map.
Yeah.
So we sort of went up there and we found it, and they weren't much help, to be honest. I don't think they understood.
I don't think they understood. The
No.
words don't translate, which is fair enough.
We saw billboards for insurance places, because it's not insurance there, is it?
No, it's assurance.
Assurance. We found billboards. We
went into an
Yes.
assurance place, but they didn't do foreign vehicles.
No, they only did Morocco vehicles.
Or they didn't do them for the time that we wanted, because we only wanted 1 month's worth.
Yes.
So we found another one.
But she recommended a place.
Yes, she
Sorry,
recommended a place.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think the other side of the city or something like that.
Yeah.
We went there instead.
Yes. Now the place was called Tanjasur.
Yes.
I will spell that out. That's Tanjassur. Tanjasur Assurance Company. They're not far from the ancient Medina and the port. They will cover foreign vehicles. We went into their office. They all spoke English incredibly well.
Yes.
They explained everything we needed. It took a bit of time to go through because they're not used to British registration documents, like the V5 and that. In the end, it cost us the equivalent of £65 for 1 month. Mm-hmm. You have to pay in cash.
Yep.
But look, there's a cash point downstairs. I believe that included roadside assistance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's also you're basically insuring the vehicle. So say like we were both covered.
Oh yes.
Unlike in Russia where it was just you.
Yes, that is something else. You don't insure, so you don't need your no claims or anything like that.
No.
Like in Morocco, you insure the vehicle.
Yeah.
So anyone with a driving license can drive it.
Yes.
Again, they gave us a nice little booklet with all the information, the phone numbers to call.
Yes.
If you're in these places, call these if you have a crash.
Mm-hmm.
One thing they didn't provide, but they told us about, you are required to carry forms with you in your vehicle in case you do have a crash.
Mm-hmm.
These are blank forms that have to be filled out at the time of the incident.
Mm-hmm.
You can get them from any newsagents.
Yep.
I think they cost 5 dirham each, which is like 20 pence.
Yeah.
Something like that. And they told us that. They go, there's a newsagent over the road, they'll sort you out. So we were insured. We were covered for a month. 30 days, I think it was. So the next thing was to get SIM cards with data. Now, Morocco Telecom is the one that kept coming up whenever I was looking for which one to get.
Yep.
And they are everywhere. You can be out in the middle of nowhere, the middle of the mountains, passing through some dirt track road village, and the newsagent will have a Morocco Telecom logo sticking outside his door.
Yes.
You can get top-up cards from him. It's either top-up cards or you give them your phone number and they top it up themselves.
Yeah.
But they have an office in Tangier. Mm-hmm. You go in, you take a number.
Yeah.
You then get called up. Again, we went in twice because we got our SIM cards and then all the instructions were either in French or Arabic.
And didn't quite make sense.
We couldn't figure that out, so we went back again, saw a different woman. They all speak English incredibly well.
Yes.
Like, excellently. They helped us out. Now, I can't remember exactly how much we paid for the SIM cards. But I've got a feeling it was 20 dirham.
I think so, yeah.
Which is about £3. Well,
no,
it's not a lot. About £2 something. Like. Well, we figured out 10 dirham is about €1.
Yeah.
So, and €1 is a little bit less than a...
Yeah.
So I think it's about 20 dirham for the SIM cards, and then 1 gigabyte of data is 10 dirham, which is about 80 pence.
Yeah.
And again, that's from all news agents. Most of them do scratch card.
That's mainly what we wanted.
Yeah, just data.
The confusion thing that we had is that when you are asking for a top-up, you must specify whether you want internet or calls.
Oh, yes.
There's a difference.
There is a difference.
And it's different on how you top up. It's just the code that you put in at the beginning.
Yeah.
But that is important.
Yeah.
When
you get the scratch cards, though,
yes,
that is, you ask for 20 data.
Yeah.
Or calls, and they give you the relevant one.
Yeah.
So you scratch it off, and then the code's on there.
Exactly.
So that's the best way to do it. Use the prepaid cards to do that. And yeah, they are. It's you see a logo. I say you can be in the middle of nowhere, and you can get a top up of your internet. It's great. So that's getting into Morocco. That's getting insured to drive around Morocco. That's setting yourself up so you can make calls in Morocco. But now you've had enough. Now you want to leave.
Took us about a month.
This isn't the last episode. Obviously, we will go into more of it in future episodes. But getting out of Morocco. Again, this is only going to be from our point of view, which is from Ceuta.
Mm-hmm.
So you cross the border into Spain and then get the ferry back to Europe.
Yeah.
So it's from the same place. There was a bigger queue this time.
There was. I will say that as British citizens, we don't need visas to get into Morocco, and we can stay up to 3 months.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. That won't change, will it?
I don't think so. I think
No.
Morocco's got to deal with the UK.
Yeah. Okay. Just getting to Spain to get there may be a bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so there was a bit of a queue this time. The queue itself wasn't too bad. The thing with Ceuta is there's you get the traffic queue and the pedestrian queue, and there's people milling about quite a bit. Now there was one guy just sort of walking up and down. He's had a big tray of snacks and drinks. And I think newspapers as well.
Yeah.
It's like anything you want to pass the time, brilliant, fantastic. We didn't need any of that. You do get beggars.
Yeah.
Now this is the one instance. I think you just gone. They came up to us, 2 young lads, and you get this quite a bit when you're parked up. They're not. No, that's not true actually. It occasionally happens. They will just come up to your window and they'll start asking for money.
Yeah.
Just begging. You say no, and these 2 younger lads, and then they started walking along the side of the van. You went into the back to close the curtains.
Yeah.
We opened the curtains for borders so that people can see in, officials can see in, not scallies begging for money. As you went into the back, I noticed in the wing mirror that one of them was lying on his front looking under the van.
Yeah.
So I jumped out, chased him off. They're both scarper, they legged it.
Yeah.
I was sort of next to the van, because he was doing it out of sight of the guard who was on the pedestrian thing.
Yeah.
Because he hadn't come to the back of the van, he'd come to the side of the van. And the guard was just sort of like nodding at me like that. Like, yeah, alright, could you not shoot him or something? Like, but,
No!
No. And then I was paranoid because we'd heard stories of people planting drugs.
Yeah, we
or
were
something.
told from the first moment we told people even back in the UK that we'd be going to Morocco. They specifically said like don't stay near the port on your way back because a lot of people have got in trouble because people have snuck drugs underneath the camper vans, and then they mark the vehicles, and people on the European side then go for it.
And we wouldn't need marking because we were brightly coloured at this
Exactly,
point.
that's the thing.
But that I got out and I checked. He'd not put anything under there. He'd not tampered with anything.
Yeah.
You know, and security do walk up and down and start chasing people off every so often.
Yeah.
He was just, I don't know what he was chancing, but chased him off and didn't have any trouble after that, but I was a bit on edge for the rest of that.
Well, yeah.
We eventually got in. Again, there was just a guy, because he goes from 3 lanes down to 1 lane, I think. And then back out into 3 again. But you just go to the front, there's guards there, they're telling you where to go, follow their instructions. You come through, get to the first barrier, checkpoint, booth, here we go, going through all my words again. And I think that was just for passports, and that important slip.
Yes.
The one you need.
Yeah.
And you show them that's all good, and then you're through to be searched.
Yep.
Where it's just like any other search.
Yep.
These guys were incredibly friendly.
They were lovely. They were very chatty. They realised that I was Pakistani, so immediately the conversation turned to, oh, are you Pakistani? Just like, yes, I am. Where were you born? Oh, Lahore. Oh, that's my favourite city. Okay.
Oh, you've got a kitchen. Oh, you've got a toilet.
They were
that's amazing.
There were 3 of them. And one of them got inside the van and he was having a look around, but he was clearly talking about everything that we had because the words like kitchen and cupboards and everything like that and bed was coming out, so they were quite excited and that's kind of nice.
But they were still checking, like they were banging on the ceiling in case we had something constantly rattling around. We did explain that we do have a cat in there.
Yes.
She was just hiding up the corner.
That excited them too.
Yeah, they got very excited that there was a cat.
But this chap did have a look under the bed as well. So again, we'd put everything away and tidied everything up as we do. But he did have a look under the cushions. So yeah, we found that coming back into the EU, things are a little bit stricter than going out.
Then we got through that, all very good. And I remember the bit of no man's land coming from Morocco into Spain we had to slalom around some spiked barriers.
Oh yes.
And then get through a big heavy set of gates, which were only just open wide enough for us to get through.
Everything was really tight.
Yeah, and the police, I think there were police there,
Yeah.
or at least border control. They had weapons
Yeah.
on them. They had guns.
But I don't I would presume, because we're not the smallest vehicle, but then we're certainly by no means the widest. Exactly, they must do.
Yeah.
But that slalom would be hell in like a 7 meter long thing with a trailer on the back with a buggy on it.
Or even just wider than we were.
Exactly.
But because apparently I've read things that because if a Moroccan citizen can get into Ceuta,
yes,
they can then claim asylum.
Yes.
And Spain,
because they're in the EU.
Yeah, they're in the EU, and Spain doesn't want that kind of
No.
willy-nilly, so it's a lot stricter getting in. But now we're on the Spanish side, they came out to have a look, and because we were worried at this point, because while we'd been in Morocco, Britain had officially left the EU.
Oh yes.
The transition period
Yes,
started,
of course.
and we'd heard stories already about people being given a hard time trying to get through European countries.
Yeah.
The only time the fact we were British came up was one with our language, and one because he kept asking us to open the side door, and I was like, yeah, that's on the other side. He's like, oh, because you're British, of course, yeah. But he was, and they just checked the van, same as the Moroccan guys, but that was the only time we've been asked for Dargo's paperwork.
Paperwork, yeah. Yeah, so he asked for her passport, he asked if I was the owner.
Yep.
And he also asked for the serology test, which is a rabies test.
Yeah. Of course, the thing in Morocco we found, Morocco has a lot of stray cats and dogs.
Yes.
And people do bring them
Adopt
home with
them,
them.
yeah.
They'll adopt, and obviously Spain doesn't want some rabies-infested cat.
No, but those are
Big
the
one.
requirements for the EU, so they were just checking.
Yeah.
As they do.
to check.
But yeah, so he took those away.
Yep.
I don't know what he did with them because he went into the building and then he came back with everything a few minutes later, so...
Yeah. And everything
All
was good.
good.
So we were through, and that took less than 2 hours.
Yes.
Is the only gauge I've got. That's the only note we
Yeah, I
made.
think it was
Less than 2 hours, which again we've heard. It was only about 3 days afterwards when we bumped into the Moroccan lady,
Yes.
the English husband.
Yeah.
Then yeah, some people have had to wait 8 or 9 hours
Yeah.
at that crossing. So again, we were incredibly lucky. I think because both times we just got the earliest possible.
Yeah.
We were aiming for early ferries. No, we didn't aim for an early ferry for Ceuta, did we? Because we deliberately allowed a couple of hours to get across the border.
To go across, yeah.
I think it's just, we were off season as well.
Yeah, I think that helps.
We did get lucky. It's something we'd have to consider if we went back. But then we had to follow. So you come through the border.
Yeah.
There are signs to the port, which would be good, except the first turn it told us to make, the road was closed.
Yeah.
And there's no diversion signs.
No.
It was, okay, here we are. So on the sat nav, that got us there. There was a bit of confusion. We got there earlier than we planned. So we were at the front of the queue. We had to wait for check-in to open. And again, driving through the big area where there's clearly big queues.
Yeah.
In peak times, there's little cafes just along this road.
Yeah.
Where you obviously sat for hours at a time. And we got to the front where it said stop, and then a guy came out and told us to back up. You remember that?
Yeah.
But by this point, there was like 4 lanes of traffic and loads of people behind us. So we had to get all these people, and all these people on scooters and mopeds. We're all looking at each other like, why are they telling us to move back?
Yeah.
Why not put the stop sign further back?
Exactly.
But then we saw the ferry come in. Everybody got off.
Yeah.
We were called forward. The guy, they then come and they check your passports. The guy then disappeared without a passport for about 15
oh, yes,
minutes.
he did, didn't he? Yeah.
And then we started getting worried. Again, because Brexit had happened and we'd heard other people, in Italy I think we'd heard, had problems. We thought, is this guy going to give us... we're in Spain now.
Exactly. We're here.
We're just going across the water.
Yeah.
Right? And then he just came out and ushered us through. No explanation or anything like that. Got on. Again, it's only an hour crossing. We left Argo in the van that time.
We did.
Because she'd had a bit of a traumatic... She'd had giant Morocco.
Yeah, she
Moroccan
didn't want
men
to...
trying to look at it.
Yeah, she didn't want to come out.
No.
So we couldn't get her in the bag to take her out on the ferry. So she stayed in the van.
And then landing in Algeciras, and we drove back to the car park by the ferry ticket office.
Where all this started.
And that was it. That was in and out of Morocco.
Yeah.
Easy. Well.
Yeah. With a month in between.
With a whole month and a lot of stuff in between. I nearly swore then.
Now.
A lot of adventure in between.
Yes, lots of adventure.
But yes, Morocco much like Russia. It can be quite intimidating going in.
Yeah.
But there's no need
No.
to. More people, they speak English well
They
there.
do. Everybody's friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The two.
Just be respectful.
Yeah. What's Assalamu alaikum.
Yep.
Assalamu alaikum.
If that's too much for you to pronounce, you can just say salam, and that works as like just hello and hello back.
Well, that's just a generalised like Muslim greeting, isn't it?
Yeah.
An international
Yes.
Muslim greeting, and that's how they greet you. You just say that back to them, and then that's But yeah, they're obviously more used to dealing, especially on the border. They're more used to dealing with English-speaking people than the Finland-Russia border.
Yes.
Which is understandable. Because in Russia we had very little help. We did have some help, but that was a struggle. Morocco was smooth, fine, no problems whatsoever. They're quite lax.
Yeah.
Just don't take drones. I do have to say don't take guns, but why are you taking a gun with you?
It's not America.
Yeah, they help. Yeah, very simple process.
Yeah.
Just follow the instructions. Just ask if you're not sure. That goes for both ways. And it does go to show, because of the amount of borders we crossed, and we got all of Dargo's paperwork already, no one had checked them.
No.
You thought, what's this almost? Because it was about best part of £1,000, wasn't it, to get all this stuff together?
Yes.
You're thinking, has this been a waste of money? The guy checked it all coming into Spain.
Yeah.
Therefore, it was not a waste of money.
No.
Because they wouldn't have been able to bring the cat.
Exactly. The menace.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's all the official, not legal.
Yeah. On to the fun stuff next.
Fun stuff next week. Yeah. I think it's going to be at least 2 episodes. Maybe 3. We'll see how we get, because there is all sorts. There's so much to cover.
There's a lot to cover. It's an entire nation that we covered. We did Morocco fairly thoroughly.
We did.
I would say.
And we still missed bits.
Yeah, we missed so much.
But we'll get into the reasons why in one of the next few episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it for the Moroccan taster episode. Thank you very much for listening and for sticking with us this far. Please do leave a rating or review on whatever platform you play these on, because it really helps us with algorithms, apparently.
Can I just quickly interrupt you for just 1 second?
You can.
We did a Morocco tips and tricks video as well, which goes into everything in detail. So if you are looking to go to Morocco and you want to know basically everything, check that out on YouTube as well.
Yes. Good shout. Good shout.
Thanks.
If you've been listening with a podcast service, there's a video about Morocco. And every episode of the podcast and our video diaries on our YouTube channel. Just search for Catavan or Catavan UK, because we don't have the personalised URL yet. Likewise, if you are already listening on YouTube, you can get all of these podcasts on any podcast service of your choosing. Just search for CatavanCast. Podcasts are released every Wednesday, and video diaries go live every Sunday. Usually. Please do get in touch with us about any mistakes we made, anything we've missed, any questions you may have. Please leave us a comment on your YouTube, or you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Catavan UK. You can also email us directly at catavanuk@gmail.com. Finally, Redbubble.
Yes, Redbubble. There are stuff going on at a slower pace than before. I did say that I'd have 100 items on there by the middle of September, which may not happen.
No.
But there is still stuff going on up there. There's at least 50 designs on there at the moment. If there is something that you've seen that you'd like either personalised or just made available on Redbubble, let me know. Again, if you just search for Catavan on Redbubble, all of our stuff will pop up.
Yeah. Okay, and that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with our first of an amount of parts for Morocco. So if you do have any questions you want us to answer specifically about Morocco or about the border crossing itself, please do get in touch. I've been Ben.
I've been Frey. And Darga's now in the room, and she is awake, so,
She's cleaning herself.
She's cleaning her tail.
Yes.
Yes.
So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you next time.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.